got Prairie Dog Town.
Prairie Dog Town.
Oh wow. They are so cute. We're all over the place, huh? So yeah, these are black-tailed prairie dogs. This is how a typical prairie town would be. So cute and fuzzy. Yeah, they're all there eating the hay. Pretty sure this is Timothy hay that they're eating. Kind of stuff you would feed to your pet rabbits and guinea pigs at home. Get that same smell. You got one up on the tree. Good lookout. And they make cute little squeaks also. Let's hear some little squeaks. So yeah, super cute. Oh, they got a snake show.
Good. Well, welcome to Reptile Gardens and the snake show. For those guys who didn't watch the last show, my name is Dane. You might have heard of the dog, the Great Dane. I'm the not so Great Dane. Funny. So. And before I start, I kind of apologize for my stuffy sound. My allergies are kicking my butt right now. The smoke doesn't really help, so it kind of sounds worse than usual. But yeah, before I start, I want to give you just a really short tour of the gardens if you haven't been here before. Okay, it's down here to my left. You might have seen the Prairie Dog Town. We do have South Dakota's best fed group of prairie dogs in there. I also call that the snake retirement home. Snakes love it in there. Down that way is a giant tortoise yard. We do have 9 giant Aldabra tortoises you can pet out there. We have the 3 big guys out today. Our biggest one out right now, Samson's about 500 pounds. And our oldest one, Orville, he's 118 years old this year. I like to say he's the oldest resident of South Dakota. That's pretty safe to say. But yeah, so it's really the best part of the park. Besides that, there's a great big centerpiece in the middle of the park, the dome, which has all the exhibits. We have literally everything you've heard of and more. We have all the mambas, we have all the taipans, we have cobras, we have the second largest crocodile in the country. Maniac is 16 feet long, 1,400 pounds. He's, again, one of the biggest crocodiles even in the world right now that's alive anyways. But yeah. So besides that, that's really about it. I also do want to make sure you see the alligator show, which is going to be about 30 to 40 minutes after I'm done up here. Okay, now this show is awesome, okay? And it's down this path behind you guys there. About 40 alligators in there, you can't miss it. And there's this guy out there who does the alligator show. He's really goofy looking. He's not very funny. He's really dumb. He almost gets bit every show, right? His name's Dane. Yeah. So besides that, I kind of start with the snake. Okay, first guy's completely harmless. He's a cute little guy. He's called the yellow-tailed crebo. Here he is. Alright, so now that I have this guy out, I do want to know, by a show of hands, how many of you actually like snakes? Raise your hand. None. Okay, well, quite a few. And then, how many of you are just absolutely terrified of snakes? You hate snakes? Raise them high. Raise them up. Yeah. Alright, this is how I choose volunteers, by the way. Alright, so for those of you guys to raise your hand, I know you probably think snakes are cold, slimy, really gross, and they are cold-blooded, like all reptiles, which means they don't generate body heat, and their body temperature is the same as its surroundings, not that it is always cold. And as for being slimy, he doesn't actually have any reason to be slimy, so he's just not. I know they look it, but that's just because they have smooth, shiny scales. They do feel really dry to the touch, and depending on the snake, they're either kind of smooth or kind of rough. But you're also going to notice this snake. He's out here sticking that forked tongue out at you guys. Right? He's not being rude. Okay, that's how they smell. The snake sense of smell is their most important sense. To kind of give you an example of this. I have a funny story I don't want to tell you guys. And this happened like 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. One of our staff, okay, he accidentally spilled a bucket of food he was feeding to snakes up in the dome. Right, this guy went through, cleaned it up, didn't think much more about it. But next day when he came back in, found this snake with his mouth wide open. And it was going flat against the floor. He's trying to swallow his own exhibit. And unfortunately, this guy, his keeper's really quick thinking, and thankfully managed to stop this snake from swallowing the entire dough.
Oh.
Come on, that's like the best joke I had. That's a good one. Alright, so as you can tell, sense of smell is definitely the most important sense for these guys. Alright, put him back. Alright, so now next snake I have is the biggest snake that I have for the show, and it does tend to be everybody's favorite snake. Her name is Marilyn. Now Marilyn, you might have heard of these guys before because they're really common nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, she's called an albino Burmese python.
Yes. Beautiful snake. Absolutely gorgeous.
She's a really friendly snake. Take me to dinner first. Alright, there she is. Okay. So as you can tell, Marilyn is a pretty big snake. She's not quite full grown. Full grown, these guys usually range about 15 feet and weigh like 150 pounds. Big snakes. We actually did have one who unfortunately just passed away. It's about 20 feet long. So they do get big. But that 20 feet for these snakes is really rare. It doesn't really happen all that often, so they're not the world's largest snake. So, world's largest snake, I'm sure you've all heard of the anaconda. Right? Anaconda typically grows 25 feet in length and weighs well over 500 pounds. And huge, huge snakes. And then there's, of course, the reticulated python, which grows about 30, 32 feet, but they only range about 200 to 300 pounds. The anaconda, by body weight, is much, much larger than reticulated pythons are. But kind of back to Marilyn here. She's not venomous, thankfully, since I'm holding her. So they use constriction to kill their prey, which constriction's definitely confused by this thing you see in movies like Anaconda. I'm sure you've seen that, it's a funny movie. Where this snake, he's squeezing so hard, there's bones shattering, guts flying out everywhere, the eyeballs are like popping out of the socket, all that gross stuff. It's not even close to that. All it is this snake squeezes so hard it restricts the blood in that animal and they actually die of like a heart attack or cardiac arrest, right? So it's not what you see in that movie like Anaconda, which is my favorite movie. It is so funny. So I'm going to go ahead and put Marilyn back here. I do want to tell you guys though here at the end of the show, I am going to bring Marilyn out at the end and I'm going to bring her up along the glass and let everybody pet the snake if you'd like. Okay? And I did see there are several of you who don't like snakes. You probably don't want to pet the snake. Okay, I just know you have to anyway. I will chase you to your car. Alright, so the first two snakes, I can start with the fun stuff, the venomous snakes. I have three very basic types of venomous snakes because there's so many different groups and they get really complicated. The first group's rear-fang venomous snakes, and I also have vipers, and I have an elapid. If you don't know what elapids are, they're mambas, cobras, taipans, coral snakes, sea crates, all that really fun stuff, and we'll get to that in 1 second. Just wait. But again, first guy is rear-fang venomous. He's native to Southeast Asia. Okay, he's called the mangrove snake. There he is. Now, mango snake, right? Like all rear fang venomous snakes, they don't have the ability to truly inject their venom. So, what this guy has to do, right, reach out there, kind of bite onto that animal, and he has to chew it to work into the very back of his mouth where those fangs are. And hang on until that venom runs down into the animal's food. It's really slow. Now, this process is so slow. Most rear fang snakes also use constriction to kill their prey as well, like a python does. And most rear fang snakes are harmless to people. We do have a native one here in South Dakota. It's called the hognose snake. They're really cute guys. They're only about this big, but never been known to kill a person. Right? It's the same thing in the mangrove snake. Nobody's ever died from one of these guys. And I don't want to be the first. That'd be really embarrassing. That would be really embarrassing. But funnily enough, we've had staff get bit by these snakes every once in a while. We had one pretty recently that was like 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Really recently, and the crowd loves it. They think it's like the funniest thing ever. It's hilarious. But I want to tell you this story because it is funny. So this guy, you have to imagine this guy. Okay, he is like the biggest, dumbest meathead guy you've ever met. Okay, like times 10 even. Now somehow this guy, he had this snake tailed up just like I did a second ago, right? He had the tail in his left hand and the head over here, and somehow it bit him on the left hand, way over here. How that happens, I have no clue. I cannot stress enough just how dumb this guy is. Okay? I don't know how he has this job here. And within an hour, this guy's finger, it was really nasty. It was almost twice its original size. It was like a purple-black color. It was leaking juices out everywhere, and he lost his fingernail. You could squeeze it and shoot juice like 10 or 15 feet in the air, and yeah, I'm okay now though. Put this guy back. True story, by the way. Okay, worst part about that is though, so I got bit by that snake, and exactly 1 week later, I got bit by an alligator on 3 fingers. So I was walking around with like 7 fingers like this. I was doing snake shows. 2 fingers. Gosh, why do I still bring you here? Okay. All right. So next snake is where it gets into the little more venomous stuff. This snake is one of the more venomous snakes we have here in the country, and it's really notorious. If you've lived in the South, you've probably heard of this snake before. And it is a semi-aquatic pit viper. Again, native to southeastern U.S. He's called the cottonmouth.
Yeah, got these guys in Florida.
And you also know him as the water moccasin.
Yeah. Not a happy snakey. Not a happy snakey.
So cottonmouths. Now this snake, he's awesome. I love to bring these snakes out here because exactly what you're seeing here. They're really notorious for this really defensive thing he's doing here. So this is kind of the thing about snakes that people don't realize. What he's doing, he's being defensive. Snakes don't actually have the mental capacity to be mean. So really all this guy he's trying to do, he's just trying to scare me away, right? And honestly, it works. And actually because of this guy, I almost always bring an extra pair of underwear. Just because of this guy. But also, you know, I hear stories about these guys that are so funny, about how they dive bomb people out of trees, chase you in the water, terrorize towns, you know, everything like that. They're really funny stories. Yeah, they literally cannot be mean physically, so they're just not. But also, kind of the cool thing about vipers, and I've got a really good look here. So when they open their mouth, their fangs actually have to fold to the top of the mouth because they're so long. If they didn't, they'd poke out through the bottom of the snake's mouth. Right, kind of a cool fact, the gaboon viper, which is the viper with the longest fangs, their fangs reach about 2 inches long.
Yep, my favorite snake.
Wow.
And so because of that, right, the fangs being so long, you can imagine he has his mouth open like this, they're sticking way out far. So they don't have to bite their prey like all the rest of the snakes I brought out. They have to bite their prey. All he does is he reaches out and strikes it barely touches that animal, and the venom's injected, then he kicks back, relaxes, waits for the prey to come to the venom. Really efficient. And for those guys up front, you might actually be able to see all the venom that he bit himself. You can see all the venom kind of seeping out there. Kind of cool. And the cool thing about venom, it doesn't hurt the snake at all. It's basically just a modified form of saliva. So you guys have one up here too. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back. Because as you can tell, it does not like me at all. Honestly, it hates me. It doesn't want anything to do with me. Right? And that's actually a really good indication that it's a girl. Put that viper away. So now we can start with the elapids. Again, these guys, black mambas, king cobras, coral snakes, sea snakes, all that fun stuff. So when I talk about these guys, the question does come up. People ask, what's the world's deadliest snake? Now this is a hard question to answer because it's a matter of opinion, and there's two correct answers to this. Right, the snake with the most toxic venom, and then there's my ex-girlfriend. Come on, that's my favorite joke. Come on. So, snake with the most toxic venom, and the snake who kills most people every year, which weirdly enough are two very different snakes. The snake with the most toxic venom is called the inland type venom. It takes about 1 milligram of their venom to kill a person. Thankfully though, there's only one person who's ever died from that snake on record. So, because of that, I know a lot of people don't really think they're the deadliest snake. So, people think the world's deadliest snake is the one who kills most people every year, which is this guy right here. Really famous. You have all heard of this snake before. Okay, it's called the monocled cobra. Come say hi, buddy. Come say hi. There you go. There you can see him. There you go. So, coolest part about the cobra is exactly what you're seeing right here. It's their hood. And that's why he's in the box. But the cobra's hood, actually what it is, he has elongated ribs in his neck. And he assumes that position when he feels threatened to make himself look much bigger and much more intimidating. And again, as you can tell, it works. But you guys also might have seen, when he struck at me, you might have actually seen videos of this too. When they're up there like this, their strike's really slow. Now honestly, you can go ahead and let this snake out. You can get him crawling around up here. Okay, you can get him to hood up right in front of you. Stick your hand out there, let him strike, and easily avoid being bitten. Okay, who wants to try? No, you don't. No! I was the dumb one. These snakes are very deadly. They do cause, unfortunately, about 20,000 human fatalities a year. It's about twice as many bites that we have in the United States. So, exactly why he's in the box. But yeah, in case you're wondering also, the last guy who was up here doing a show, with him out of the box, this is what's left.
Yeah. You don't want him out of the box.
Quit him. Alright, so, like I said, most common question we get out here by far. So, now last snake that I have for you guys is, it definitely is one everyone likes to come here to see. Now let's say, to give you a hint, he is native to South Dakota. It's really common here, but really secretive. I do talk to thousands of people a year who live their whole lives here and never see one. It's really secretive. Now he is the only true venomous snake we have here in South Dakota. Right? It's called the prairie rattlesnake.
Yep.
There he is.
Oh, he's on there. He's got a rattle on there.
Alright, just a cute little buzz, really. So, coolest part about rattlesnakes, so it kind of hence their name, is the unique tail appendage, the rattle. Right, we all know what you get when you come up to this snake and you count the number of segments on his rattle, right? Yeah, you get big. Now I know people think you count the number of segments on a rattle, they give you his age, but he gives another segment every time he sheds his skin, which can be up to 20 times a year, and and they do fall off to regrow. Okay, these ones I had fall off just a couple of weeks ago. So, no way to tell the age of a rattlesnake by its rattle. And also, unfortunately, almost all the things you hear about rattlesnakes are completely false. Hey, but when I have this guy out here, another question that comes up quite often is, what do you do when you hear a rattlesnake? Now, this is a good question. I used to ask this question, receive answers to this during my shows for a number of years, but I got a lot of funny answers. Now, probably the most common answers I got to that question, they were either run or scream. Well, most too common I got. But some of my favorites, some of the more funny ones. One time I had a guy tell me, shear a rattlesnake, push your friend down first, then run. I'd hate to be that guy's friend. But then last year, and this is the reason I stopped asking this question. Okay, last year I had a little girl, like 6 or 8 years old, really cute little thing, sitting up front, raised her hand, all nice and polite, and told me, when you hear a rattlesnake, you want to stop, drop, and roll. Don't do that.
Wow.
And the only thing you do when you hear a rattlesnake is actually freeze. You might notice when I'm up here moving, that's when he kind of gets antsy. Right? You find the snake, then you scream and run in the opposite direction. But maybe you're like me. Again, you're really dumb. You want to come up to this guy, start messing with him. Right? You're going to come up, poke him, prod him, try and catch, tease, try to chop his head off, something like that. No, don't blame him for what happens next. Because most venomous snake bites, they do occur when people are out here harassing them. And weirdly enough, I have no idea why this is. It's weird back. Right? Almost all of those venomous snake bites that happen when people are messing with them happen to men. Let's just think about that for a second. Alright, and they're usually between the age of 18 and 25. And alcohol's almost always a factor. What it is about drunken rattlesnakes, I don't know. They're tempting. But I know these snakes, they definitely get a bad reputation. A lot of people kill these guys. But you know, these snakes are one of the most vital animals to the ecosystem. They eat all kinds of rodents like mice, rats, voles, prairie dogs, little kids, everything like that. And, especially ones wearing pink. Yeah, so, besides that, this is the last snake that I have for you guys. But before I let you guys go, I do like to kind of end on a little bit of a serious note. Because I like to come up here, I love doing these shows, and I like to make them funny and maybe make my job look a little easy. But technically, I am a trained professional, according to Facebook, anyway. And people also ask me what happens if I ever felt scared up here, right? Like if I dropped the cobra box and he's out here chasing me around, what would I do? It's a really good question, and all I was trained to do, right, is I'm going to get my handy dandy snake hook here. Okay, and I'm going to hook this guy up, but he's coming at me about half to 2/3 of the way up his body. Okay, lift him up just like this. And I'm really going to make sure to use 2 hands. Right? Hook him up like this. Now, you got it. And then I'm safe. You already have your money. But yeah, so besides that, put this guy back. I'm going to get that Burmese python Maryland back out. Let everybody pet the snake. And again, you have to pet the snake. I will chase you. Besides that, this is the end of the snake show. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and thank you very much.
Gorgeous snakes.
Yeah,
oh my God. Oh yeah.
Look at that shit. She's hungry.
Now, but how often does a snake come out albino?
So it's kind of a genetic thing. It's just it's like 1 in a million or something like that.
Okay, so
but you can actually breed it.
Oh, really?
So she'll have half albino babies.
Oh,
half
wow.
albino, half hetero albino.
Oh, okay.
They have the gene, they're just not albino.
Oh, all right.
You can breed it into them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I really enjoyed the snake show. Guy was funny. Really interesting facts about the snakes. And we got Methuselah's playground. So lots of stuff for the kids to climb in and out of. So really good photo ops over here. Just showing you more of the plants. I get excited for stuff like this. I know not everybody cares, but yeah, I'm the one filming it. We've got the Outlaw Hideout Shooting Gallery. These are always fun. Get to shoot at the targets and different things happen. And we've got the sheriff. Don't want to shoot the sheriff. Got Spring Creek Gulch, Frontier Town. Oh, they got some faux fronts. Look at that. Got Pappy. In case you gotta go to the bathroom, there's a nice outhouse here. See inside. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. My bad. Got a 3D Safari spinning experience. But it doesn't look like it's open right now. And you got a Top Gun quick draw. Oh. It's a bad guy right here. Now we got gem mining. So the instructions. The gemstones you can get. Next up, we got Avian Avenue. Got a Catalina macaw. Ooh. That's a pretty one. There we go. Very pretty bird. Oh wow, yeah. Really lovely colorations. We've got Nande Conure. Hi, pretty bird. There you go. Got a Harris hawk. Oh wow, yes. Love all the raptors. We got a red-tailed hawk. Yeah, raptors wingspans. And bird heights, how do you measure up? Wow, ostrich could be over 9 feet tall. Oh, we got king vulture. Wow. Yeah, these are the most beautiful type of vultures. Absolutely love the coloration. Yeah, the other type of vultures, the turkey vulture and the black vulture, look scary, but this bird does not look scary. Got a barn owl. Yeah, those are pretty owls. Here's an eagle owl. Hey, baby. Very, very nice. Got a Merlin falcon. Wow. It's a cute little bird.
It's good.
Got yellow-headed vulture.
I'm going to get my family over here. Real fast. Is that a place for the public or?
Yeah, yellow-headed vulture.
Okay. He's so cool.
Wow.
Thank you so much for getting him out.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah. Very pretty. Like the, you know, the coloration on the head. Wow, yeah. Fantastic. So all the alligators. If you're from the state of Florida, man, this is always nice to see the alligators. Anyways, telling everybody, you visit the state of Florida, basically any fresh body of water that's not a swimming pool is going to contain alligators. And that comment, not swimming pools, isn't always accurate because there's been reports of alligators getting in people's swimming pools. That's usually if they live close by fresh bodies of water. So lakes, rivers, streams, ponds. Always assume there's going to be an alligator inside. Alright, you got their sweets and treats and snacks. Oh yeah. We got Green Parrot Cafe. It's actual food. So I'm definitely going to get something to eat because I'm starving. We do have restaurant locations right next to Green Parrot Cafe, so I'm going to go in there and wash my hands after touching the snake. Alright, so I got a buffalo burger. Because I've never actually had it before. Grab one of the gators.
A volunteer.
It's like, no, I want to go back in the water.
How about a lovely volunteer here? I want to, of course, get on his back. So what I'm going to do here, I make sure his head is in line with his body so he can't see behind him. If I give him one little tug, don't get bit. Okay, easy as that. Yeah. You might also be wondering why I'm doing this. I'm wondering that same thing right now. Alright, so you're right there. Get him lined up. Just like that. There you go. Okay, there we go. So now, here's kind of my safe-ish zone right here. You're gonna notice my knees are here to his armpits. My feet are kind of turned in behind his hind legs, right, which keeps this alligator from backing out from under me. Now, this is really important. Right? There are several really important reasons to me why I do not want the alligator backing out underneath me. Use your imagination there. Okay. And then, so from here, I want to go ahead, of course, get a hold of this alligator's insanely powerful jaws. Right, so what I'm going to do here, I put my hands on his neck, work up his jaws, close them. Kind of cool thing, alligator jaws are really long, so I can shut his jaws right there. Just like that. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now that I have the alligator here, it gives me a really good time to let the alligator catch his breath. Alright, so having the alligator in this position, right, keeps him from rolling out from under me. Rolling is usually kind of the first thing he's going to try to do in order to free himself. So, the alligator, if he really starts fighting me, this is immediately where...
Sorry, my battery died.
Here, I'm kind of calm the alligator down. Okay. So now that he's kind of calm, now, right? I do want to kind of point out just several things about these animals. They're really well adapted for their life in and under the water. First thing you're going to notice, I am covering up the alligator's eyes. Does not hurt him whatsoever. Their eyes are retractable, and it does seem to calm the animal when he starts fighting. And so if he really starts thrashing around, cover up his eyes, he sits there, does nothing, simply because he thinks he's dead. So I always wonder, my smart self out here in a pit full of alligators, what happens if I cover just one eye? Now, is he half dead? I don't know. You know, why this works, I couldn't tell you, but I do think it has something to do with his brain being about the size of a walnut. And a kind of cool fact about that, if his brain was to get any smaller than this, then he'd be my manager. It's a good thing I'm safe in here, right?
No, you're not.
Alright. So then, kind of a few more things about alligators, kind of focusing on their eyes here, is they have two eyelids. Of course, the first eyelid that goes down when they sleep, and then they have a secondary eyelid that goes to the side, which is like a built-in pair of diving goggles. It's called a nictitating membrane. And then their eyes, also being positioned where they are, allow me to do a lot of really, really dumb things. And so, for example, because they can't see behind him, he also can't see anything in front of him, below him, and he can't see anything inside his own mouth. And so, if you're really dumb like me, you can put your hand inside the alligator's mouth. As long as you don't touch anything, no matter what he can't see, won't hurt me. And that's how I got bit. By this alligator. Yeah, what happened? I put my hand inside this alligator's mouth, and I had maybe a piece of sand fall off, and their jaws slammed shut. About 3,000 pounds of bite force. They have the most powerful bite in the animal kingdom.
Oh, look behind you.
Okay, so that is my cue to get off the alligator right there. Forward. And just like that, I'm off. All right. There we go.
We're not medics. I want to do medics.
Okay, so now that I'm off the alligator, I can kind of start the fun stuff. And like I said, I have some food back here.
See another one of the workers watering all the flowers. Takes a lot to keep all this looking nice. Alright, so I had my lunch. Gonna go inside this giant gift shop. So yeah, that's the same gift shop that I got my hat. So they got lots of shirts, and sweatshirts, all sorts of different sizes. And they do have some plush. Now, little kids are gonna like all the plush. They even got some plush snakes. Got some fish fossils. Amethyst you can purchase. We got this really nice malachite bowl. $20,000. Guys, this is giant amethyst right here. It's like it's 510 pounds and $8,000. Got amethyst geodes. So lots of other stuff. Not just all of the typical, shirts and hats and plush. Just all sorts of different things. Just some of the things that you would have gotten in the gem mining. And you got lots of books. You got these little placards you can get for different types of dogs. You got Jungle Gardens Jungle Outpost. This whole secondary gift shop. Wow. All sorts of cool stuff in here. Wow. All sorts of cool stuff in here. Got tropical butterflies. Yes. Beautiful butterflies. The thing is with butterflies is they have a very short lifespan. So they're not killed for this. All this stuff is from Papua New Guinea. You can purchase all this type of stuff here. Yeah, this is fantastic with these dragons. Oh, that's neat. Dragon wine holder. And they got bison jerky right here in the gift shop. They also have scorpion lollipops and dried crickets. So if you're kind of adventurous, you could try something like this. There's a big giant map, the Black Hills area. So you're just basically outside of Rapid City, Reptile Gardens, and then you see Mount Rushmore. Gonna be right there. All right, everybody, this is gonna wrap up my visit to Reptile Gardens near Rapid City, South Dakota in the Black Hills, right down the street from Mount Rushmore. So that's pretty cool. This area is very popular with the tourists because of Mount Rushmore. So leave some comments down below what your favorite animal that I saw today was. I always like the kookaburras. Any place I go to that has kookaburras, I absolutely enjoy. Lots of different gators. As I stated earlier, some of the snakes that were upstairs, their signage was basically impossible to film. It'd be nice if you switched all those signs to outside of the tanks, make it a whole lot easier to see and film. But I digress, that's probably been like that for years. By the way, the buffalo burger was absolutely delicious. Nothing spectacular about it. It tastes a little bit different than beef, but nothing really exotic. Like it wasn't gamey or anything like that. So that was actually pretty good, pretty tasty. So if you like places like this, I go to places like this, zoos, aquariums, amusement parks, theme parks, state and national parks, quirky roadside attractions all over the United States. I upload new videos every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check my channel out. Got well over 400 different videos from my adventures over the last 6, almost 7 years now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.